Joining me now, Vivek Ramaswamy, former 2024 GOP presidential candidate. Vivek, he has to be working for Trump at this point, don't you think? I mean, Joe, that was just another gift.
You know, look, I think that deep down inside, he meant lock up Kamala Harris. That's who he's really upset with. He wants to put on a MAGA hat and probably privately vote for Donald Trump. But the reality is, on the other hand, if you take him seriously at his word, it's not surprising that he's saying this. After all, he is, people forget this, nominally the U.S. president right now that oversees the Justice Department that is pursuing multiple criminal prosecutions or has tried to against Donald Trump. So the idea that he would finally say lock him up, after all, that's what the Justice Department that works for Biden has actually been trying to do for the last year and a half. It all kind of makes sense on multiple different levels. It's also why, Laura, I think we may be headed, I'm going to use the L word here, to the possibility of a landslide. I'm not saying it's taken for granted. Complacency is not an option. But I think we could have a unifying landslide that is within reach, and I think that would be really therapeutic for the country. Biden's just making it easier by the day.
Well, Biden, kind of realized what he said, and he said politically, lock him out. But of course, they never give that kind of grace to Trump. They know what Trump is saying when he says things like this. They know he's tough talk. He's always been that way. It's New York, is the way he talks. Yeah. But they never give him that grace. So we're at least going to mention that for Biden. But they don't believe what they're really saying about Trump. They never have. They know him. They've known him for 30 years, a lot of these folks. You saw Schumer at the Al Smith dinner. They don't think he's a dictator in waiting, right? This is all just a big lame put-on.
Yeah, of course it is. And the real problem when they say Trump is a threat to democracy, here's what they actually mean, Laura. They actually mean the voters are a threat to democracy. That's what they worry about. The biggest threat to democracy in the eyes of the Democrats is actually the voter. That's why they talked about the basket of deplorables when Hillary Clinton ran in 2016. It's what Tim Walz and their crew means when they call the voters just plain weird. So I think that's the fundamental problem that Democrats have with democracy or the threats to democracy. It's not really Donald Trump. It's the fact that the will of the voters might actually be reflected. That's their issue with the whole system. And I think that that's been their problem since the time of the American Revolution. I mean, we founded a country based on self-governance that's itched certain people in this country for 250 years since then. And in a certain sense, that's also what's at stake in the election this year. The good news is we, the people, say, yes, we will create a government that's accountable to us rather than the other way around. And that's a vote for Donald Trump this time this year.
All right, Vivek, I can't wait to have you back right before the election. This is going to be fun. Thank you, as always, for joining us.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.